University. She has successfully designed resumes for all levels for varied functional areas like sales, IT, production, civil, medical, etc., illuminating the future of thousands of students by helping them get their dream jobs. We are honored to have you with us, ma'am. Ma'am,
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Astha. So, good morning, everyone. I would just switch on my camera to introduce myself and then we would take the presentation forward. Okay. So, I hope everybody can see me. So, good morning, everyone. This is Shweta, and I have been into this industry of resume writing since 10 years now. It has been a roller coaster ride, helping people to get their career dream jobs and dream career, right? So I have been associated with a lot of reputed companies for resume writing like Naukri, Times Jobs, Way to Writers, and etc. So I would take you to the insights of resume writing today. To start with, I would not make the session very boring as to only I will speak. I want you also to interact with me alongside. So what I'll do is after each slide, I'm going to ask you if you need any, discussion with me, and I'll be happy to help there and then. So we will do a very interactive session, nothing very boring and, technical. So can we start? Let's start. Okay, I just wanted to give a heads up that I had some technical issue with my laptop, so I'm doing this with my phone. So please bear with me. Right, so I'll just present the presentation and let's go about it. And in between, if anybody wants to ask any question, I would give them the time. Please switch on your video camera. I would appreciate that and ask the question yourself. Thank you. So now I'm just sharing my screen and the presentation. Let's start with it. So Rahul, Srishti, you can tell me if you can all see the presentation, if you're able to see the presentation.
Yes, ma'am, the presentation is visible.
Okay, so let's start. So today we are just going to, explore the corporate world. It's a new beginning for all of you. So let's start. Let's start by seeing what is a resume. Okay. So a resume is somewhere you present your skills in. Okay. You need to present it in a very explicit manner, right? Everybody has their own different skills. It's not that you can just copy paste from each other about your skills. You need to be very specific when you write your skills in the resume. So it highlights every specific skill that you have individually. It is used to secure employment, as we know. Everybody knows it, right? It shares your complete career story. So a resume is a document which shares your complete career story in one go. Here, when we talk about, in your case, the career story would be your internships, your volunteer experience, your any kind of freelancing work that you have done in amidst this pandemic. You might have put your hands on any freelancing experience. So that's all the career story that we are talking about here. Okay. Then a brief of your relevant experience in education. Now we don't have to give it very explicitly. We have to give a brief of the experience, and the relevancy has to be checked before giving the experience section. We need not give it very explicitly. Okay, now the last point and the very important points. A recruiter gives you only on an average 5 to 6 seconds to skim through your resume. So you just have 5 to 6 seconds to get that impression, okay, to make that first impression on the recruiter. And how you do it, we'll discuss it in the next slides. So let's move on to the next slide. I don't think there would be much to ask here since it was just an introduction. Let's move to the other slide and we'll take it forward. Okay. Resume for freshers. So how is resume for freshers important? Particularly because it is the first impression, right? Through the resume, the shortlisting is done through the resume. When you upload your resume on a job site or you send it on one-to-one basis to the human resource recruiter. So it is the first impression that you make on the recruiter, right? And as you all know, first impression is the last impression. Therefore, it is very important that you have that impression on the recruiter at the very first go. And your resume talks a lot about you. So you need to be very, very confident that whatever you write in the resume, you have the facts ready and you are very well prepared for that at the time of the interview also. Do not write anything, do not forge anything into the resume. Okay, so it is a key important tool for your job search, definitely. Now, resume also talks about your practical and technical exposure at the same time, right? You must be having some practical exposure of the theories that you have studied across your academics. So those things you have to highlight in the resume, especially your technical skills, which I mentioned here in the yellow box. Okay, you need to give the technical purview of your entire career. Now we are going to a very important slide in which I'm going to explain you how to create and what are the major sections in a resume. So the first section in a resume is to create an objective. Okay, job objective. By objective, I mean, what are you targeting? Now, earlier what happened was we had a lot of generic objective. If you see in the resumes, like working in a very reputed company, or maybe I'm a very hardworking professional. But now that's not the case. Okay, you need not be generic in the entire resume, especially your job objective. You have to be very clear with what you're targeting. So the job objective contains of three aspects. First is your target functional area. So target functional area is something which is your target function. For example, if you are if you have studied computer science engineering per se, so you might be targeting software development or software testing, or you might be targeting something related to AI or something related to machine learning, which is very prevalent nowadays. So you have to mention those targets in the very top of the resume. Okay, you can't miss out on that. That is a very important function which helps you in the ATS screening. So about ATS, we will discuss later. Now, preferred location. You need to give your preferred location where you want to get the job in. You can't just be random with that. Okay, if at all you're open to India, across globe, you can just write across globe or across India rather than writing the cities. But if you're very specific to the cities, you must mention the cities. Now, talking about the preferred industry. Preferred industry, I would advise you only if you are very, very specific about your industries. Otherwise, keep it all open. Okay, because the reason for which is, if you keep your industry preference in the resume, if you write it on your resume, then your search engine gets a little restricted to those industries only, and you will receive only jobs for those industries and not might be able to explore the other industries. So it is always good to keep it open, but if you are very specific, you can keep it, you can put options also. Now, how many? The question is, how many targets can we mention? Like, you are very confused. You don't know how many targets should I see for right now. You are looking for 10 functional areas, but there is a limit to it in the resume. You just can't write 10 functional areas or 10 locations or 10 industry preference in the resume. Preferred itself means that you have some preference. You can't just go keep writing about the locations or the functional areas. You need to be specific. So a maximum of 3 functional areas are allowed in the resume. 3 for target functional areas, 3 for preferred location, and 3 for industries. Not more than that. If you feel there is the fourth one in the location and the industry, please write open to all, or please don't write anything at all, but don't make it more than 3. If you are very confused for the functional area aspect, more than 3 is coming to your mind, please consult a professional in that case, because you need to have it channelized to at least 3. They cannot be more than 3. Okay. Now, coming to the smart summary section, you need to have a very, very effective profile summary. Okay. So the profile summary should have your total years of experience to start with. If you have not done anything, you are a fresher, not done any freelancing, internship or anything, you can write your academic skill here. The academic skill which is the best suited for you. It is not important to be a degree. Even if you have taken a professional enhancement kind of a certification, you can mention that also. So what it should align with your target functional area should not very okay. Now the stints taken across your career regarding your target functional area. Like for example, if you have done software development in your internship and now you're looking for machine learning, you wouldn't want to highlight it in the profile summary because that is not your target anymore, right? So you have to write statements supporting your target functional areas rather than what you have done across the career. You can write what you've done across the career, but not in this area, which is very specific and which is 99.9% read by the recruiter. So profile summary is something which is read by the recruiters for sure, even if they don't read your entire resume. Now, the last line of the profile summary should always carry your personality traits. So the personality traits does not include hobbies. Okay, it does not include hobbies that you like painting, you like dancing, need not include those. Personality traits will include that you are a good leader, you are a good team player, you are a good collaborator. So everybody has their own strengths. You need to highlight your strength. I would again reiterate, please don't copy any content from your friends, from the internet. Please write it on your own because the recruiters have that plagiarism software also with them. Okay, so don't do that. It's a big no. Coming to your life achievements. So the life achievements does not only pertain to if you have done an internship, if you've done a freelancing, you might have done something which exemplifies your strength areas. If not, if at all you feel that you've not done anything which it might not be a very long time since you're working and you feel that you've not achieved much, no problem. You can convert your key result areas. You can convert your strengths into achievements and show it in the resume. So how can you show it in the resume? In the form of a PAR pattern, which is the problem, action, result. You just can't write that you received an award. Okay. Why did you receive the award? What was the action taken by you? And hence you received the award. Okay. So there should be a cause and effect thing in the achievements. You just can't write, for example, if you did help the company in, saving some cost for the company, you just can't write that you saved this much cost. You have to show the problem. You have to show what action you took and what was the result. Hence the result. You can't just keep, your statement restricted to the result. It is very important to show the PAR pattern in the resume so that, the recruiter knows what was your contribution. But it has to be, it does not have to be very verbose. It does not have to go like a story. It has to be very crisp and concise. Okay. So I would pause at this moment and ask if anybody has a have some doubts in how to make a resume, this is a basic format that I have shared on how to make a resume. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to
Yes,
ask me at this point.
I have a question.
1 second.
Okay.
Let me open the Teams app. May I know your name, please?
Yes, my name is Divya.
Divya. Hi, Divya.
Hello.
Please tell me.
Yes, so I wanted to ask, for example, if I have done freelancing or some work in design domain, but I am looking for a job in tech domain. So do I need to write that achievement in my achievement section? Like
Yes,
I've done some.
yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely. Achievement section is all about giving all your achievements across the career. It does not pertain only to target. So target thing only pertains to the profile summary. Okay. You have to give
But
all
don't
your
you think?
achievements.
But don't you
Yeah.
think that recruiters would specifically target me for design only if I have experience in that domain, and if I'm fresher to that domain, researchers, recruiters
Uh,
would
See,
select me.
no, that is not the case. See, what happens is when you show your achievements in the achievement section, it does not only, for example, if you are moving from, you saying, for example, if you're moving from development to business analysis, right? Now in development, you will do requirement gathering, right? You will do
Mm-hmm.
designing, you will do coding, you will do testing, and then you will give a software developed, right? Now when you write this
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the achievement section and you're targeting business analysis, those things are different. But how would the recruiter gauge that you have experience in some experience in business analysis? By seeing that you have done requirement gathering, because requirement gathering is a very important aspect of business analysis. So
Mm-hmm.
that is how you would not know what they are gauging. You would not know what they are, what they are seeing your strengths in. So please keep all your achievements in the achievement section. Do not miss out on anything. You need to have it. The way
Okay.
of, the way of rephrasing it does the trick actually. So that is why I told you have to have the problem. You need to have the action and the result. Don't make it very vague and, uh, just
Mhm.
showing your result. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? So I would take that as an anybody else.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
I'm Zora from Kashmir and I'm a literature student currently doing my undergraduate studies and I plan to do my master's abroad in
Zora,
UK.
you can switch on your webcam if you want to. I would not force you if you want to.
Yes, ma'am, just give me a second.
Sure.
Ma'am, I'm a literature student currently doing my UG and I'm planning to do my PG abroad from UK. How can we build a resume from a student's perspective? Could you please talk about that? Like, how can I frame it from a student's perspective? For example, I want to do my master's in UK from a university. How can I start building my resume from now on since I'm a first year student?
Okay. Okay, Zora. So Zora, you want to apply to a postgraduate degree in UK, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So for that, Zora, you need to first, very important, have the UK format. Okay. So the formats are not same for all the countries, as you know. It is different for Asia. It is different for UK, US, UAE, everywhere. So you need to have the UK format with you handy. Don't make it any other format. They are very strict with their formats. Okay. First thing. Now, secondly, since you do not have much to talk about, you in the resume, you can talk about the things you are interested in,
Right.
right? Like for
Yes, ma'am.
example, if you, yeah. So in masters, what are you interested in? Which field particularly want to go for? Like, for example, you want to go for gender studies, you want to channelize yourself for that. Then you
Go
have to.
for world literature. It's world literature, my specific subject. I'm doing my graduation from English literature, but then I plan to do my master's in world literature, and I'm working on it. I mean, I don't know how it will help me, but I think I've attended more than 12 webinars and achieved about 30 certifications for the same field and even across the field like health. I have, since the university which I am looking for, they are interested in climate changes. So I took a course from United Nations in the regarding the climate change and everything. So I am working on it, but then I don't know how to professionally compile it into a resume.
Okay. So now, since you're telling me you have so many things in your cap, right? You have done so many workshops, you have done so many professional enhancement skills, you've worked, you've taken knowledge about the climate change thing. So all these things can be segregated into different sections. Like the workshops attended can be in a different section, and but whatever is, you should first be very clear about the syllabus of world literature. Okay. Now, whatever is the syllabus of the world literature and whatever you've done to back it, write it in the profile summary section. And the rest of the things should go in your highlight section. So as I told you, whatever you are targeting should be there in the profile summary section and the rest in the achievement section. Okay. So once you see the, what presentation I have, further, you will understand more, Zora. So if your doubt
Okay.
is not clear after the presentation, you can ask me again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I would take that as a no and start again presenting. Okay. So now we are talking about another very important aspect, which is the type of resumes that are there in the job market. So the first resume is chronological. Chronological resume is one in which you give your career growth in a chronology, keeping the present one on the top and then moving with the rest of them. So you have to list your work history in the order of date, keeping the most recent on the top and then going backwards. This is a chronological resume. Sorry. Functional resume is something in which you highlight your functions rather than your organizations. So in a functional resume, you give all the organization names together and you highlight your skills under each function. I'm going to give you an example for this. For example, if you have worked with A company, B company, C company, you need not give company wise details. You give A, B, C company together in organizational experience, and in the function section, you give all your functions under each block. For example, software development, project management, requirement gathering, team leadership. So, and under that, you will give your points, what you have done, how you have contributed in each organization. So this is a functional resume which does not highlight your organizations, but highlights your functions more. Now, mixed resume is something which is a mix of chronological and functional resume, in which we give it chronologically also, and under each organization we give functions. So this is a mixed resume. Now the question would arise, which is the best format for freshers? The answer would be functional resume. Okay, because the reason for which is you do not have much chronology to show in the resume right now, right? So how will you bring strengths in the resume? How would you make your resume very strong? Is by making a functional resume. So as I told you how a functional resume would look like, you have to give your skill set in the form of blocks. I'm so sorry. You have to give blocks for your skill set. If you feel, okay, now the question arises that you must have not done anything at all. You must have not had any experience in software development, any experience in testing, or anything for that matter, or maybe production or anything for that matter. Now you can still give functions related to your personality. Like, for example, you can mention collaborator. How have you collaborated? You did something for your college, you organized a fest or something, so you collaborated with a lot of people while organizing it, so you can write that in that section. Team player, how did you become a team player? You might have done a project with your classmates, and you must have been grouped into teams. Now you have to, you can show your team building skills in that section, that how did you build your team, how did you cooperate with your team members, and so on and so forth. So functional resume works the best. I would not suggest chronology until 3 years. Mixed resume comes way after that. Okay, so before going into this, I would want to ask if anybody has any questions regarding the format that they should use and why they should use.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi,
May I know
ma'am.
who's this?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Ishan. I just wanted to ask, ma'am, like you suggested, the best format for fresher or for students is a functional one, right?
Right.
And in which you explain that suppose I have few experience of internships, like I have been interning with a what's say a finance company, and and
Okay.
by the side I have worked with a marketing company. So is
Okay.
it like I have to mention like both of the companies and my role in that, like I have performed certain projects in that company, and then I have to mention my roles in those separate columns. Like what I'm trying to ask is,
Mm-hmm.
do I have to mention both the companies like in a chronological manner? I have worked with an XYZ company, then I worked in ABC company, like so
Mm-hmm.
on. I'll be mentioning it. But what if
Mm-hmm.
I come in a functional way? How will be how I will mentioning those companies' name?
Okay. So by functional, I mean, for example, if you've been working in XYZ company, ABC company, they have to be there in the resume. They have to be mentioned chronologically. But your functions will not be given chronologically. In a chronological resume, for example, I'll tell you, you have worked from 2018 to 19 in ABC company. You write that, you give your responsibilities under that, you give your highlights under that. You move on to the next company in 2019, you write that company name, you give the key, responsibilities of that company and the achievements of that company. That is a chronological resume. In a functional resume, what you do, you don't put it company wise. You give all the company names together, and you give a different section for all your functions together. For example, if you have done both marketing, you have done administration, you have to give general administration, give points related to that. You have to give marketing and give points related to that. Definitely, obviously, whatever you're targeting, points will be more for that rather than the ones which are, you're not targeting at all. But it has to be in the form of functional skill set, like a block in that. And the projects that you're talking about, that has to be a different section altogether. Projects cannot come in the organizational experience section. It cannot come in the functions also. That has to be projects undertaken section, which will be a different section altogether.
Okay, all right, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi,
You
who's
see,
this?
Sahil
Hi,
Khurana.
Sahil.
Yeah, so you see, we actually have a lot of hobbies. A lot of us paint or learn
Right.
music, right? So we have to write that in our resume as well, do we?
No, no hobbies are allowed to be included in the resume. Not at all. Okay. Don't include hobbies in the resume if you're applying for a job which does not for example, if you have a very creative field, like you're going for photography kind of a career, or if you're going for a creative director kind of a career, then you can give your hobbies, which will obviously support your dream. But in a technical, in a managerial, in a techno functional kind of a resume, no hobbies are allowed to be given.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, I would take that as a no and move on. So now I will move on to another different important section showing you what are the different types of resumes. Okay, so you can, in the left hand side, you can see the format. This is designed by the Way2Writers team. I was associated with the Way2Writers team and they have designed these formats. So I've taken those formats from them. So first kind of a resume is a textual resume. Okay, now what is a textual resume? A textual resume is a resume which is SEO optimized. Okay, it is a professional resume which is SEO optimized. It should have, by SEO optimized, I mean having search engine optimized keywords. Okay. The textual resume is an ATS compliant resume. Now, what is ATS? ATS is the applicant tracking system. It is a tool, it is a software which is used by the recruiters all across the globe. Now, what happens is for a particular position, lakhs and lakhs of applicants, apply. Now, how would they segregate? So the first level of segregation is the ATS tracking system in which the HR use automated tools to shortlist resumes. So out of the lakhs of applicants that they receive, they reduce it to thousands and then they do the basic screening. So how to come in that from lakhs to thousand is that your resume should be ATS compliant for sure. Okay, if you are applying on a job site, definitely. Now, it should have a very good format, a good structure. As you can see it in the left-hand side, it has a very good structure. Nothing is, the line spacing, the font that you use, the font size that you use, the full stops, the punctuations, everything should be very, 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 structured. It should not go here and there. And obviously the verbiage, the content should be very professional. You can't just write anything that you've done across your lifetime that, playing cricket, playing badminton, playing tennis, all these would not come in the resume. Obviously, that is a part of your extension of your hobby, or maybe an extension of your school cricket club or tournament club, but that would not pertain to your resume. So don't use such statements in the resume. So this is a textual resume. You can very well clearly see how a textual resume, a functional textual resume look. Okay, this is a functional resume in which the functions are given and then the points are given below that. The second resume that you see is an infographic resume. So infographic resumes are the resumes which are introduced in the market in India by Way2Writers only. Okay, so they have introduced this new product in the market, which is gaining a lot of relevance now. The reason for which is, as you can see, it is very, very eye catchy. You look at the resume and you know as to what a person might be doing. IT skills, professional minutes, career highlights, which company they have worked in, the logo says it all. So it is a very, very, eye catchy, crispy resume in which, within 2 to 3 seconds, the recruiter might get some idea. So it is a combination of text and graphics, as you see. And this resume is very prevalent, is getting prevalent nowadays, very prevalent. Okay. This is an international resume. It is just one of the formats of an international resume. This is not pertaining to all the international locations, but this is also ATS friendly. This has all the SEO optimized keywords in it, and this is the US format. So this can only be used in US. Okay, this is the LinkedIn profile writing. So now deviating a little from resume and coming to LinkedIn, it is very, very important. And I repeat, really incumbent of you to prepare your LinkedIn profile. If you have not done it, please do it, because since we are moving to the digital era now, and it will be a case for the next 7-8 years or so, you would have to have a LinkedIn profile to back your strengths and your skills. LinkedIn profile in India, it is gaining prevalence. Outside India, it is already a very important profile, which is used for background checks also. So please have a LinkedIn profile ready. Okay, as you can see my point, it provides credibility to you and gives a good impression on the employee that you have some social, relationship with the candidates and the social atmosphere. Since LinkedIn is a free database, it is very handy for the recruiters also. Okay, and it is just like Facebook. If people have not used it, it is just like Facebook, only if it is strictly professional. So moving on to the different other section of important skill set, soft skills you should use. I would want to know if anybody has any questions related to the different formats I showed.
Yes, ma'am. May I?
Yeah, may I please know your name?
Yeah, my name is Prashwansal. I want to ask this question that what is particularly ATS friendly? If you say that ATS friendly, there should be a resume to pass the computer thinking, and
Mhm.
for that, what particular changes are to be done in a resume?
First of all, by in a very layman language, if I explain you, ATS means the resume should be first readable. Okay, it should be readable by the softwares, all the softwares like
Okay.
it should be readable. You can't include images in it then. Okay, so when I say this, infographic is not an ATS compliant resume. Okay, infographic is prepared in Photoshop. Infographics are have images in it, therefore it is not being read by the softwares. Okay, so ATS compliant first means it has to be readable. Secondly, it means it has to have all the keywords. For example, the recruiter mostly searches, they have a software in which they search you by team management. And that skill is written in your resume as a team player. Your resume will not be shortlisted. Even though you might have you have been a good team player, but you have not written that in the resume, your resume will not come in the machine. So the first screening, which is done by the recruiters, is through the ATS. They do not know if you've done that or not done that. If you have not mentioned in the resume, your resume will not come in the first criteria of selection process. So you need to ensure that you have the resume ATS compliant if you are applying through job sites. If you're giving it on one-to-one basis to the recruiters, you can definitely use infographic. That makes a better impact.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm
Good
Harshi,
morning.
and
Hi,
I'm
Harshi.
also an undergrad. I'm doing literature from Miranda. So
Okay.
I have been facing a few obstacles. Like I want to intern for content writing, but many of the companies they ask for few backups. But
Like,
as a
if you can tell
fresher,
me.
yeah. For example, I went to this company. So I forgot his name. Anyway,
It's
there was a
okay.
company, and I went there to intern about. I had to write contents about the company's social websites like Facebook and Instagram. So
Okay.
I was one of the recruiters, but the problem was they only recruited those people who had a past performer, like they had interned in in previous companies. So it's
Okay.
really hectic to get into internships. However, one of my friends said कि if you have a like really good resume and you rewrite some with some good verbiology, you might get into some company for content. So I wanted to ask, like you just said that the information should be clear, crisp, and concise, right?
Yeah.
Those were the exact words. However, what if assume please, what if we take the words a bit more unique and verbose?
Yeah,
it-
so
yeah,
I'm so sorry to interrupt. You can continue.
that's all right. Please continue.
Okay, so I forgot your name. May I know your name, please, once again?
Yeah, it's Hershey.
Harshi. So Harshi, your resume has to have, since you are specializing in content, you want to get into content writing, you have to be very good with your verbiage, but that does not mean you have to be verbose with it, because you know you can use for example, you can use simple yet some very good keywords. Like for example, instead of handling, you can mention overseeing, you can mention administering. Okay, so like this, you have to have a little extra edge over your resume related to the content. Plus, if you feel that they are rejecting, in India there is some a stigma attached as to you have to have some experience. They do not understand that a person has come for an internship and he might not have an experience or so. What you can do is you can mention your strengths in the form of content writing, maybe blogs, maybe some articles you've written. Do you own a blog, by the way?
I have just started. It's not yet
Yeah,
public.
yeah. So all these things really help you, because even when I completed my grad from English honors, I started off with working in a publishing firm as an editor for school books and magazines. So at that time, even they asked me like, how would we know that you could support us? But then I had a backing of blogs. I had some backing of uh, article writing. All these things are free. As I told you, LinkedIn is a very important sphere. Just write an article, post it, share it on LinkedIn, write, attach some media onto it, and then you can show that you've had written content. You've had WordPress is a free platform. You can start your blogspot. So all these things will really help you. Plus, what you can do is you can do some free courses for content in Udemy, in paid courses from lynda.com, or maybe freelance. There are so many courses available right now. So those things at least will give them some thing to judge you at least. Okay, so that will be really helpful to you, because that was really helpful for me then when I started off with my career in content.
That's
And
so plausible. Thank you. It makes
thank
so much
you.
sense.
Anyone else?
Ma'am, this is Kanishka.
Hi, Kanishka.
Ma'am, I'm doing my third year chemical engineering, and
Okay.
I also do internships at content writing as a
Okay.
part time for earning money like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm writing a resume for chemical engineering, should I
Mm-hmm.
mention the content writing internship in that?
What kind of content do you write as a part of your earning thing? Is it technical, or is it anything? What is that?
Technical content writing.
Technical. So definitely you should include it. You can include it in the extramural engagement section, extracurriculars, or strength section. You can include it. You should, in fact,
Oh,
because
thank you.
because it will be really helpful for the document. Technical documentation is a very important aspect of chemical engineering when you move forward with your career. So why not? They will really know that you're good in technical documentation and reporting, and that would be a good forte for you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Hi, ma'am. This is Harsha Vardhani.
Hi.
Ma'am, for what would you suggest for a beginner as a freelancer? What the resume would you suggest
Freelancer in which field?
on any like data entry or content writing like that?
Okay, and what are you doing presently?
MBA, first year MBA.
MBA. What is the specialization?
No, ma'am, not it. I have not
You've
yet
not
selected
decided?
any specialist. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Now, if you want to get into a freelancing content writing, firstly, you will have to do your homework. You need to know what is prevalent in the market. You need to write some of your own pieces, because in content writing for freelancing, they would definitely ask you for your work samples. So even if you've not done that for any company, make some pieces personal, write it down so that they know what is your capability. For example, even if I'll be hiring for a freelancer content for myself, I would not really be very interested. I would be definitely interested in the companies that you've worked with. But even if you've not done that as an intern, I would not expect you to have a lot of organizational experience. I would rather go for checking your language, your way of writing, expressing things. So start with writing things, I would say, and start posting it online. Start sharing it on Facebook, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very good platform, so start using it very, extensively.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
This is Ruby.
Hi,
My
Ruby.
question is that while applying for an internship or a job, for an internship, like, do we have to have some resumes which are separate, or we can go with the same resume and just edit it and give it for a job as well?
So it completely depends. If you are looking for example, which field are you from, Ruby?
I'm from science field.
Science. Which science? Which?
I'm doing BSc right now, but I'm into content writing. So I have done internships in content writing at many places. So I just
Mhm.
wanted to know that being a science student, if I am into content writing, which is about stories and, all
Mhm.
poems and all, so article writing. So
Mhm.
while giving for an I've applied for internships. The resume that I prepared there was okay, but for applying for a job, I somewhat feel like my resume should be different for applying for a job.
Now, if you're looking for a creative field and you want to apply, I would always recommend you to go for infographics. Yeah, you can prepare that. If you're not sounds hands-on with Photoshop and all, you can definitely take professional help. Plus, what I would advise you in that case, if you now are doing content and maybe later at a later stage would move on to technical, have two resumes handy then. Don't go for one. Okay, you
Okay, ma'am.
can have two resumes. It is not a problem. The recruiters understand that you might be good at two functions separately, and you can not merge it at all. So you can have two different resumes for the two different fields.
Okay, ma'am. And is it compulsory to put a picture of yourself on a resume if you're applying?
No, it is not. So initially, in 2000 and to be very precise, in 2016-15 period, the photograph was done mandatory by the recruiters. But the trend was that a lot of bias and lot of prejudice was being attached by seeing the photo, right? A recruiter was selecting basis on the looks of it. So then it was decided that it is totally dependent on the candidate whether he or she wants to put the photograph or not. It is not mandatory.
Okay, ma'am. And one more question,
Yeah.
that being a science student, if I want to go for further scientific writing and editing, so does my content writing all achievements be included into my resume help me for a job in scientific writing?
Yeah, it would definitely help, but what I would advise you, if it is too early for you to decide right now, in the later stages when you do some, in the second year or the third year, start writing some technical content so that you have a backing for it. Right now, you're doing it for, out of creativity. Move on to technical content. You have a lot of courses on Udemy and Coursera for technical writing. If you want to go for those and start doing it a little, so that by the time you apply for jobs you have some backing to technical documentation and writing also.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Hello. I think someone has unmuted, but anyone else wants to ask anything? Or shall we proceed?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, myself, Ronak. Actually, I have a query. Like, if I'm having any year gap, just assume if I'm having year gap, so how can I improvise on that in a resume?
Okay, Ronak, very
Like
good.
I had done a diploma, right now I'm doing BTech from Electronic and Communication Engineering. I'm in my second year. I had previously done a diploma of 3 years. So just assume if I have a backlog in that and I'm having a year gap, so how can I improvise on that?
Okay, so Ronak, it is not mandatory to show your percentages. Okay, this is a very good point. With this, I get to percentages and your marks. Please don't show your marks in the resume if they are not into first or second division or something. Don't show it. It is not mandatory to be shown. Okay. At least you will be shortlisted for the interview then, and then you can explain your conditions, right? But because the documented, if rejected at the very first place, you will not be able to justify yourself, right? At the time, you will not even land up for an interview. So I would always recommend, do not put your scores or your GPAs, CGPAs if they are not very great. If they are, then if you're very confident, only then put it. Okay?
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so now let's move ahead very quickly. So the next section is most important soft skills in your resume. Now you would feel which soft skill can we write, which is the most effective ones. So there are a lot actually. I could not really enumerate all here, but some of the most important searched by the recruiters I can really put in here. Like first is communication, very important. You need to communicate here and there in the corporate world with your juniors, with your seniors, with your peers, everyone. So your communication has to be bang on, and how be it written, be it spoken, anything which is your strength, you can mention it. Collaboration definitely is required in a firm where you work. Even if it is a very startup, it is a small firm, still you will have to collaborate here and there. So very important skill to be mentioned. So critical thinking, problem solving skills, important. How can you solve problems? And when I say this, please just don't try that you have problem solving skills and that's done with it. Write, give some backing to it. How do you feel you have that? Even if it is generic, personality traits are to be generic. So please don't, shy away from giving any good, example here. Creativity and imagination always required when you're working in a project or something or a process. You never know, you might end up optimizing a process with your creativity. So these are the four most important skills. There are a lot actually. Now this is choosing the right resume. Okay, what is a good resume? What is a bad resume? As you can see, perfect format and structure is very important. White spaces in the resume are not allowed. By white spaces, what I mean is, if you have put your resume in one page and three sentences are coming in the second page, the entire second page is going white, right? It is blank. This is not a good sign of a good resume. Okay, do not keep white spaces in the resume as much as you can avoid it. Okay, industry specific format and font. The font should not go very creative like a calligraphy or something. It should be very professional. Some Some formats, if I can name, are Calibri, Cambria, Georgia. These you can use. The line spacing, as I told you in the very beginning of the presentation, also very, very important. If you're keeping it 1.5, stick to 1.5 across the resume. Don't make it 2, don't make it 3 as per your own whims and fancies. Please be very specific. Tenses and punctuations should be bang on. Don't, giving about your past company and mentioning it as a present tense. Big turn off for the recruiters. Do not do that. If you have done it in the past, mention it in the past tense. If you're still doing it, mention it in present perfect or present continuous. By present perfect, I mean you can mention it as like perform this or performing this. So these both tense forms are good. Don't make it too content heavy. Even if you have a lot of content, you would, I would really, really recommend you to have a very good, structured way to show your content. Don't, your resume can go to 2 pages also. The standard length is 2 pages. But make it very structured so that everything, is in a very good space. Proper headings. Do not give any heading as per your fancies again. Layout should be very proper. It should be optimized. So by optimized, I say which, I'll give you an example. If you write resume writing companies on Google, you might get some listings on the top, right? So those companies are the companies who have optimized their content, their website content. That is why the companies are coming on the top. So in the same way, your resume will also work for the recruiters. If you have not optimized your content, your resume might come on the 10th page maybe, and they might only see 5 pages. So that will, reduce your chance for getting shortlisted. So always optimize your, the keywords. Now coming to the interview selection process. This we have already spoken about. So candidate uploads the resume job on site. How does the process work? Passes through the applicant system, passed or rejected. There can be 2 cases, right? You pass through the ATS system, you get rejected by it. Now, if you get passed, the resume is then scanned for your SEO optimization. If you get rejected, you are left amongst the others. Okay, so the first and the foremost step is the ATS, applicant tracking system. We have already spoken about it. Now, the second case might be you might be uploading the resume on a job site, you directly passing it to the recruiters. When you pass it to the recruiters, they check it for plagiarism, they check it for grammar. So please do ensure that your grammar is on point, correct. The tenses used are correct. There is no copy pasting from any other CV that you do. Okay. So if pass, your resume is shortlisted. If fail, it is rejected. Now, talking about the recent trends in the job market, social media is more important than you thought. As I'm always, I'm constantly telling you, constantly asking you to please make your LinkedIn account. Do not, just stick to Insta and Facebook. Go on LinkedIn, make a very good, effective profile, right? Make your resume ATS friendly, need of the hour if you are putting it on the job site. As I reiterate, if you're sending it on one-to-one basis, infographic works the best. Technical skills sharpen the resume. Now, even if you have nothing to do with the, in the wee hours, please sharpen your technical skills. Like you might sharpen your Photoshop skills, you might sharpen your InDesign skills or any software. You should be good with Excel, you should be good with Word or any one software. Take one software and, try sharpening it, because technical skills are used in every functional area, be it production, civil, be it, literature. MIS reporting is something which is attached to all the functional areas. Now, digital resumes and portfolios, they show innovation. As I told you, it is the newest product in the market, sought after by the recruiters, but use it only if you're not uploading it onto the job site. Now, quantifiable results. Quantifiable results are something which I would say, as I told you, if you mention that you have reduced some cost of the company, if you have, introduced some new concept for the company, don't just write it and just go without it. You have to give some quantifiers by how much percentage did you do it, by, I mean, how, what was the quantifier behind it? If you have received an award, which year did you receive it in? So that also holds relevance. So please put dates, years, quantifiers, and maths wherever you can, basically. Okay. You can add bar graphs also, but that I would always, recommend on a infographic resume. So this was about it. I want to ask if anybody wants to ask me any questions related to their profile or anything related to the resume. And then I have something else also. I would like to introduce you to one more person. Okay, I just wanted to confirm if Shadab is online. Shadab?
Hello. Am I audible?
Is this
Hello.
Shadab?
Yeah, hi, this is Shadab. Am I audible?
Okay, guys, so this is Shadab. He is the owner of a resume writing company, Way to Writers, as I told you. You can connect with him over any kind of job assistance or resume writing assistance that you require. He would give you professional resumes. If you have any questions, he has been doing this since 15 years now. Okay, he has been into the resume writing field and writing. He has a team of 15 to 20 resume writers, as I told you. So if you have any questions for me and Shadab, you can ask now.
Hello.
Hello.
Excuse me. Hi.
Hi.
My name is Shant. My question is from Sadab, sir. It's like
Okay.
being a owner of a resume writing company. What kind of resume you look for when it comes to hiring?
So hi, this is Shatab. So basically, you want to ask about the company you are applying for, or you're talking about V2 writers only?
Basically, I want to know about both the things, right? What type of company it is, and what kind of resume or what kind of candidate you look for.
See, basically, we have different teams. We are having sales team, resume writing team. So multiple, like every organization they have. But if you're talking about a normal organization where you want to apply, right? So that needs that depends on your requirements, in which field you are applying for.
So basically, I would just like to add up to that. How does a professional resume writing company and how Shadab can support you on this is he has those softwares with him, the SEO software, he has the ATS software, he has professional resume writers. So how he can help you with it is you can go up to him and he would check your resume on the ATS software. He could tell your scores on it, how are you doing, and he can assist you with the resume writing process. So that is how he can come handy, because SEO optimization is very important. As I told you, if you can do it yourself, best. If you cannot, if you need assistance, Shadab is here for you to assist, and he has a very good pool of resume writers. So they will do one-on-one with you in any case, so you would understand it better then.
So basically, what we do normally, if anyone avail the resume writing service, we put that particular profile on ATS software so that we can get maximum keywords which is trending nowadays as per the profile. So basis on what we like, once you mention your requirement that you are looking for that particular field, we will put your profile on ATS software, getting the required keywords. Basis on the keywords, we start writing the resumes. That's how we work, sir.
So, guys, I would always, advise you to go for professional. It's not that I am, you know, giving some, doing some ad here for anyone, but there is a startling difference between both the resumes, professional and the ones made yourself. You will see yourself for yourself, because a professional resume really helps you to stand out with the help of the SEO optimized keywords. That is how it becomes handy. Anybody, any question related to resume writing or professional resumes? How do they work? Anything, we are happy to help here.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Ruby.
Yeah, so ma'am, I have a question that is during this pandemic, there are many things that I've been doing online. So I have online certificates, not the hard copies. So while making a resume, in the column, in the section of my achievements or experience, can I write it in two columns, like online and offline? Is that good?
You cannot, do not columnize it. You can mention it in brackets. If, or else if you've done 2 to 3 courses from the same platform, you can write the platform name and then you can mention the courses. But online and offline would not give a very good picture. They are then anyways not SEO optimized keywords.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hi, Zora. Please tell me.
I have a question that while mentioning our achievements or anything, is it important to have a proof of everything we mention? For example, obviously, if I participate in a webinar or anything like that, I will have a certification. If I'm a leader or I managed an event in my university, I'll have a proof for that. But then there are some things that I have done, but then I don't have a written proof or something for that. For example, we have so many group projects, and I have been doing projects in groups, so that I can write it to show that I have leadership skills or collaborative skills. But then I don't have a proof or anything written. Then
It's
is it
completely
important?
okay, Zora. You need not have any proof. They would not ask you for it.
And ma'am, one more question. I don't know if I
Yeah.
should ask this. After this session, even after this session, if we require assistance from you or Shadab sir, how can we get in touch with you? Any?
Are you there on the WhatsApp group?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Shadab and me both are there on the WhatsApp group. You can always approach us. We will float in our numbers on that once this session is over.
Thank you
So
so
Zora,
much.
you can also follow us, on our LinkedIn page. So I'll share the LinkedIn page, or Shweta will share the LinkedIn page.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right? And yeah, you're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Okay. Anyone else? Any small doubt that you have? Okay, so I had been given a list of questions. I think I answered almost all of them while you asked your questions. So if anything is left out for anybody, please feel free to ask right now. I'm happy to help. Okay, I would assume that nobody has any question. I hope the session was really helpful for everybody, and our association is not restricted to this webinar. If you need any help from me in future, anything else you want supported, you can please contact me on my number. I'm going to leave that on that group. Any part of your career you are stuck, please reach out to me. I'll be happy to help. And it was a really good audience. Thanks everybody for listening actively. Rahul, you can take over.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing such a crucial information with all of us, and also being working with our team. And thank you, audience, for joining us for this webinar.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Also, we will be having an event for networking through public speaking. Please stay connected to participate. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.